Hey, what's up, guys? Jordan Anderson here, and welcome to today's episode. We're going to talk about the six pillars of a successful. Let me start that again. The six pillars of a successful creative business. We'll do it one more time. The six pillars of a successful creative business. Now, I say the six pillars because there are six in tandem, in combination. These pillars are the things that are going to hold up your house, that are going to build your temple as a business, and the young me, the immature me, at first thought I just needed one of these, or I would move on from one pillar to the next. And how that's kind of how my journey has been. That I've started with one pillar, and how I kind of present this. We'll go through the order in which I've kind of adapted these and brought these things on into my life. But the biggest realization was that it's not just about one pillar; it's about all of these pillars. So let's kind of get into it. Like I was just saying, you need alignment of all of these pillars together. You cannot just have one of these things. You can't, you can maybe have two, you can maybe have three, but when you have all of these together, when all of these fall together, when they all kind of line up like like the blades of a zipper almost, it just zips it up real tight, and that's where you really start to see success in your business. And let me kind of walk you through kind of my journey. So the first pillar is motivation, and I hope all these are spell checked. So the first one was motivation, and when I was, I talked about this yesterday in the 2013 world, 2014, 2015. It was all about startup culture. Twitter was hot, Instagram was hot, Facebook was hot, Snapchat was barely being born. All of these things were emerging. And it was really it was intense. It was an intense time to kind of start a business, or it was the right time. I was taking an entrepreneur class. I was reading. I had just found people like Gary Vee and Tim Ferriss, those kind of authors kind of entered my life, and I started following those people on YouTube and things like that. And I got really motivated, and I was like, this is it. This is how you start a business. Like, all you just need is the motivation. And there are millions of videos on YouTube. You know this. I don't have to tell you this, about motivation, books on motivation, motivational tapes, things to get you excited to start your business. And that's what I thought you had to do. I thought I was like, okay, if I'm motivated enough to do something, if I just have the willpower to do this, then I can do it. And you'll see, as I kind of explain through all this, it is still just not exactly it. So with motivation, that my flaw with it, and this is kind of where I moved on. Like I was at one point in my life, I was addicted to motivational videos, watching the epic keynote speeches, and just like I would watch those all the time and think in my head that I'm jacked up, I'm excited, and I'm watching these motivational videos, and that's like I'm doing my business. Or I would do one thing from the business, and that was it. There wasn't really anything from it. Kind of fizzled out. And what I learned with motivation is that motivation is temporary. It's like what you had for lunch today. Like, you can't survive the rest of your life off of the one thing you had for lunch today. It's just like a small little piecemeal thing, and it's important. It's important to have motivation, but it's not the most important thing, or it's a combination of all of these things. Number two, this is like the natural progression, maybe, but let's talk about tactics now. That was my kind of like, this is your second pillar of your business. I was motivated a lot, so then that motivated me to start learning very surface level things, tactics, how to do something, how to post a video, how to set up a live stream, how to start a Snapchat account. All of those things were very surface level. How to start a vlog, how to get the 5 pieces of gear you need to have for the best vlog ever. Like those kind of like very tactical things, how to do step by step. It's a natural progression. I get it. If you're young and you don't know the tactics, you have to learn the tactics. If you want to be an editor, if you want to be a videographer or cinematographer, you have to learn Adobe and how to shoot and how to work with cameras and how to light. Those are very tactical things, and but what you become, you're not running a business. You're got the one pillar, you're motivated, and now you're moving on to tactics. Like, now you know how to do things, but you're not running a business yet. You're still just a practitioner. You are still kind of not like a day laborer is not the right word, but you would be hired as just like the low man on the totem pole. Like, okay, I know how to video edit, so I can run my own video editing company business. And it's like, no, you are the technician. You know how to do this thing. And a great book I want you guys to check out, and I should have like linked it in the show notes, but go read the E-Myth Revisited, and it talks about these kind of three things. There's the entrepreneur, and maybe I'll talk about this more, but there's the entrepreneur, there's the manager, and then there's the technician. If you just know how to do the tactics, if you just know how to do step-by-step, I know how to assemble this object. I know how to assemble this video. I know how to color grade this photo. I know how to shoot this photo. That is very tactical, very surface level, and you will get hired by companies, and maybe, low ticket clients will hire you, but you're going to start to run into some roadblocks. And that's where I started to run into. I was like, I got so focused on the tactics. Like, the more I have to learn, if I learn more, or the more I learn, then I'll know how to really kick ass. Or like, if I'm just this expert and just like keep pushing further and further into like tactical expertise, then I'll get better at my business. And I didn't. So you have to watch out for that. The same with motivation. You can overdose on motivation. You can also overdose on the tactics. Strategy. This was my next move. I was like, cool, that makes sense. I'll move into strategy. Now I know I'm motivated. I've got the tactics. And now I'll start to combine a strategy of all this stuff. And I will start to, now I'll start to see the big picture. And I won't just do task A, B, and C. I'll start to combine it into larger projects, into larger initiatives, into larger things I want in my business, into larger goals I want to reach. And I'll look at everything from a strategy, so that when I'm working at the very tiny level when I'm in the edit bay and just focus on editing a video, or even when I'm shooting a video, I really know what I'm doing. I know why I'm doing it, and I'm able to kind of move forward and understand, and not get so bogged down in the details, because I still have that 30,000 foot view. And 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, that was my next move. I was like, let me get into strategy, because that's what, as you're growing up, as you're getting better in the creative business, if you're a videographer, cinematographer, photographer, any kind of creative, you start out as, and maybe, you can look at the kind of natural progression in a corporate video production house. You can look at the natural progression in a small video production house. There's the young kid who is just the technician. They're the whiz kid. And then you got the higher ups, the managers, who are looking at the kind of broad picture, the broad strategy, the broader initiatives that are going to lead the business further down the road in the right direction. And that's what I got really obsessed with. Like, yeah, if I know this, if I know strategy, then I'm going to be better than these little kids, these little 21-year-olds who are just shooting videos. That's all they know how to do. They just know Premiere and how to shoot on a DSLR. I know strategy, so I'm better. And to some degree, yeah. Like, now that you're kind of bringing in these pillars, you are elevating your skills. Like, you are able to kind of set yourself higher and higher. But it still wasn't all that. And that moved me to the next one, which is permission. And this, I think, comes in a couple different flavors for people. It can be in the form of permission for yourself. It can be in form, if you're married, permission with you and your spouse. And if you're younger, or if you're going to the family business, it can be permission with your family, with your dad, with your mom. And this is a lot harder to kind of come by. This, I don't think you can read in a book. This, I don't think you can have any kind of aha moment from watching some cool YouTube video. It's about now I'm getting serious. Like, the permission side is you saying to yourself, is you saying it to your spouse, is it you saying it to your family, I can do this. And I want to do this, and I believe that I can do this, and I'm going to do this, and you are allowed to do this. Because I think sometimes we need permission. I think we need, we can be bombastic, we can barge our way through life, and we can just say, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm going to chart my own path, get out of my way. But you have to, but if you're kind of not getting the permission from others, then you're causing friction. If I were just, me and my wife, if I would just say, honey, I'm going to start this own business. I don't need a job. I'm going to give this a shot and not talk to her, not have that conversation, there would be friction. And it would hold my business back. It would hold me back, and it would hold my marriage back. Same with your family, same with yourself. If you don't believe you want, you inside, you want to do this, you feel like you can do this, but you just don't feel like you feel like you don't have the permission to do this, or you just don't have the inner belief that you can do this, then there is going to be some friction, because there's always going to be this nagging thing that I don't believe in myself, or I don't believe that I can do this, and I don't believe that it's possible. And and that was my journey too. Like, I thought, okay, I just have to get better at these skills. Like, I'm motivated to do the work, and then move on to tactics where you start to understand how to do the work, and then you learn the strategy on what it is, the reason why you're doing this work. But then you have to give yourself permission. You have to say, I can do this, I want to do this, and I believe that I can do this. And like I said yesterday, coming from a very cynical outlook, that was hard for me to adopt. Because it starts to feel woo-woo. It starts to feel very spiritual. It starts to feel very believing yourself, inner self, your biggest, brightest self, your soul, that kind of stuff. It feels weird, but you have to believe it, and it comes in different forms. You don't have to follow what these little gurus are saying, or these little spiritual counselors are saying. Get your little sticky note out and write your gratitude out, and write what you're thankful for, and call people that you love. It just kind of like, you do it however you want to do it, but it really starts with giving yourself permission, and that's the next step. Let's move on to the next step, the fifth pillar, and then we'll move on to the sixth pillar. But first, I want to talk about what I have going on. So right now, I'm working on, and it's still kind of a work in progress, I'm working on the perfect wedding package. This is what I think is going to elevate wedding photographers. It's going to elevate wedding videographers to the next level to get their pricing up. Because we can get, same with tactics, we can get our photos better, we can get our Lightroom presets better, we can become the best photographers. But if you learn, it's really not about being the best, and it's really not about having the best strategy. It's about really communicating your value, and a really tangible way to do that, and a really way to kind of give yourself some breathing room in your business, is to raise your prices. And if you raise your prices, you're able to earn more money for doing the same amount of work, and then you're able to keep doing what you want to do, and not have to worry about chasing after gigs. You can open up your mind a little bit, have a little breather now that you're making a little bit more money doing a little bit less. Now we'll go back to the slide. We're talking about mentors here. That's your fifth pillar. Mike is muted. Thanks, guys. With mentors, it can get kind of weird. It's, like to say, like, to go find a random stranger, or to go find some like author that you read, or some podcast guy that you listen to, or somebody on YouTube, and reach out, really put yourself out there and say, will you be my mentor? That's a lot. And I can't imagine myself ever doing that, to be honest. And it's just like, so I found this really nice, I think it was L2. I think it was an L2 talk. And they talked about, I wish I could find the video. It was just this best advice. It was steal your mentors. Do not reach out to your mentors, talk to them, and put yourself out there and say, will you be my mentor? Will you, can I work for you? Can I be an intern for you and follow you around? It just gets, I feel like you've already lost if you're asking that, or just like you're setting yourself up for rejection. But the guy said in the video, steal your mentors. Go out there, find your favorite author, and study them. Study what they do. Read their books. Watch their podcasts, or watch their YouTube video. Listen to their podcast. All these things. Don't so much just and have multiple mentors. And that was the kind of point he made too. Like, you can have multiple mentors. You can have 6. You can have 10. You can have as many mentors as you want to follow. But like, choose them. Steal their work. Steal how they're doing it. Steal their knowledge. And you don't have to really ask permission. Like, will you be my mentor? Just reach out to them. And that's what I feel like is the next step in having a successful creative business, because you what I have learned this year and what I've kind of learned over the last few weeks is that, and not to put it like this, like steal like an artist is kind of one way I would look at it, but there's this kind of sense that you should not try in your business at all times, especially in a business that isn't totally new or totally revolutionary, that you should look at what other people are doing, that you should kind of steal what they're doing. Like take little bits. Oh, I like that. I'm going to take this. Oh, I like this one. And take small little bits and samples from every business that you see. You can steal copy. You can steal the way someone presents a video or the style and how someone cuts a video. Like you can steal all of that, piece it all together, and it will be a unique version of you and how you run your business and how you present your business. You shouldn't, and people, one kind of word I want you guys to learn is swipes, marketing swipes. This has kind of fallen into my vocabulary this year, that you should be, when you're thinking about launching a business and you're thinking about launching a new campaign, a new product, anything, find examples of it. Hit the little bookmark tab, hit the little star, save this for later, create a little content bank in Notion and say like, oh, I like this. I want to steal this. This is nice. Oh, I like how they said that headline. Find headlines, find copy, find paragraphs, find intros, all this kind of stuff, and put it all together and make it your own. But and that's the kind of idea with mentors, that you're looking at the people who have come before you. You're standing on the shoulders of giants, and you're following their path. You're mimicking their path. You're replicating their strategies and things like that. And yeah, that's kind of the next step. That's the next progression of the fifth pillar. So now let's move on to the sixth pillar. And the sixth pillar is people. And people can be a lot of things. People can be your audience. People can be your customers. People can be your clients. People can be your peers. And this, I think, is one of the most important pillars to have in your business. Yes, you need to know how to run your business. Yes, you need to know the tactics and the strategy and be motivated to have your business. And you need to follow the right people, and you need to give yourself permission. But without people, without customers, without an audience, you're kind of just by yourself in a room playing by yourself, and you're not. It's not a business. A business isn't made to improve your life. A business is made to improve the life of others, and this is crucial. You have to look at everything you do in your business, every strategy you develop, every tactic you make. It all has to feed into, we here are trying to help these people, and we have an obligation to help these people. And if anyone says anything different, or if you yourself start to think that I want to do this for selfish reasons, or I want to do this for myself, or I think the business will benefit from this because it will benefit me, wrong. It's about the people. It's about the audience you create. It's about the customers you have. It's about the clients you build relationships with. And it's also about the peers and colleagues that you build along the way. You should find peers. You should, in your business, you should not be a one-man army. You should you should start to build and grow a network of other creatives, because they need your help. Think about who can help me, not always think about how I can do this. Think about who can help me achieve this goal, as opposed to what 5-10 steps do I need to do to achieve these goals. And that's kind of looking back at the tactics pillar, where you're like, okay, that's being the technician, where you're thinking about like in E-Myth, you're the technician. I'm going to make the thing. I'm going to make the video. And instead, start maybe backing up. You kind of shift into manager mode and say, well, can we hire somebody to do this? Can we bring on a friend to help us with this? Can we seek advice from one of our colleagues about what we should do in this piece? And then backing it up even further to thinking like an entrepreneur and saying, how can we involve our audience? How can we involve our clients in this? How can we get our peers, our audience, our readers involved in this whole process? And that is what I feel like is a really important part of running a successful, I'm going to get it, to running a successful creative business. And again, to recap, you have to have an alignment of all pillars. It's not just about one. You can start with one, but you kind of have to have all of these in order to have a solid foundation. You're building the temple of your business, and each column is as important as the other one. Started with motivation. Get inspired to want to do work on your business. Get inspired to want to improve yourself. Get inspired to want to help others and find those people that find your audience, find your clients out there that you want to help, and get motivated to help them. Then you kind of start to learn the tactics. How do I do this? How do I build a website? How do I shoot a video? How do I edit a video? Then you're going to start to learn the strategy. After you kind of been so granular, you're going to back up a little bit and look at the strategy. Look at the broad view. Look at the 30,000-foot view, where you're saying, in a year from now, if we do this tactic over and over, will this help reach our goal of helping our clients, of helping our audience? And then really think broad terms. And then you're going to give yourself permission. You're going to find and this, permission with your family, with your spouse, and of course with you. You have to you have to believe that you can do this and that this is all possible. Then find mentors. Find people that have done this before. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Look at people who have done this before. I can probably bet that you're not working on a revolutionary new business, so you can go find other people who have done this exact same thing. Look at their work, copy their work, take little bits and pieces, take little free samples from them, and combine it into something that is yours. And then finally, create networks, build relationships, and find the people in your life that are going to help you achieve the goals, because you can't do it alone. Even if you're working by yourself, you're a freelancer. Being a freelancer is it's very counterintuitive working as a freelancer, because you're like, oh, I'm by myself. I'm a video editor. All I do is edit videos all day. It's really counterintuitive, because you need people in your life. You need colleagues, peers, friends, clients, customers, audience, readers, all these people combined to help you move forward. You may be the leader, but you need a whole crowd, a whole army behind you pushing you forward. Those are the 6 pillars, folks. So thanks for watching. That kind of wraps it up. Again, I want to talk about the perfect wedding package. If you go to jordanpanderson.com/wedding package, you will find everything there is to know. I even include a couple bonuses in there for you guys to check out. And I think what I've put together is something that's really going to push you forward, something that's really going to change your approach and how you look at your pricing, how you look at your business. It seems like a little thing, just raising your prices, but it's not so much about just adding a couple zeros to the end of that price tag. It's about creating value, creating a real contextual conversation with your clients. It might sound weird, like a contextual, like creating some context around the prices that you're going to put in front of your clients, so that they're excited to say yes and they're excited to work with you. So, again, jordanpanderson.com/wedding package. Check it out. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave some comments here in this video. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.